Hey guys, welcome to Shadow School Studios, and today we're back on Moxfield. I know I've been making these, but it's because I've been really trying to cook up some really awesome enchantment decks, or not enchantment decks, but just a bunch of decks. Today we're gonna be looking at Abaddon the Despoiler. So he is a 5 mana for Trample, Mark of Chaos Ascendant. During your turn, spells you cast from your hand with mana value X or less have Cascade, where X is the total amount of life your opponents have lost this turn. So Dance Magistrate kind of just shuts this deck down. But we have ways around it because we don't need our commander on the board, but he's essentially just a way that we can accelerate. So let's go through it. We'll go through Planeswalkers. We have Angrath. Each opponent discards a card, loses 2 life. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Tap it. It gains haste until end of turn. Sacrifice it at the beginning of your end step. If it has mana value 3 or less, each opponent loses life, equal to the number of cards in their graveyard. So mostly I'm just going to be a +1 hit to cut down my opponent's hands and basically make them lose the 2 life, because that's automatically sown 2 life on that. Any of my mana rocks can go to my 1 costs or go to my free costs and stuff like that. And each of these cards is the exact art I have of it. So this is a deck I actually have built. So yeah. We have Chandra, Dressed to Kill. Is basically, she's a mana dork that does 1 damage up to 1 target player or planeswalker. So that's automatically just really good on... and then if we don't have cards in hand, we can do our +1, exile top of a library. If it's red, you may cast it. We can't cascade from exile, but it is something that we can kind of try and feed. -7, exile the top 5 cards of your library. You may cast red spells from among them this turn. You get emblem with whenever you cast a red spell. This spell deals X damage to any target where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. So yeah, in my opinion, I think that is pretty freaking dope. But the emblem is okay. But really, the mana is what I'm wanting, because it's essentially a commander sphere, but only for red for 3 mana, and it does 1 damage. Omnixilus of the Black Oath. Each opponent loses 1 life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. -2 is create a 5/5 black demon. You lose 2 life, and you get an emblem with 1 and 1 black. Sacrifice a creature, you gain X life. You draw X cards for X is the sacrifice creature's power. Essentially, we're going to be doing his +2 just to, if we're doing a 4-person pod, do that 3 life. And it's just going to open us up to getting more stuff that we can cascade from our hand. Professor Onyx, Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, each opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. We're going to try and storm off with our stuff. But that also, too, is that way we're going to build up our cascade amount each time. The lose 1 life, look at the top 3, put 1 from your hand, and the rest in the graveyard is to help us dig. -3. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls. Basically, pseudo removal. Then -8, each opponent may discard a card. If they don't, they lose 2 life. Repeat this process 6 more times. It's almost the Hellfire Torment. But really, we're going to be trying just to do keep her as a Magecraft, but doing that +1 we could kind of do just to try and dig through our deck. Saheeli. Yeah, I got that secret lair. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless servo. Target artifact you control becomes a copy of another target artifact or creature you control at the end of the turn. Except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. So with her, we're going to try and make as many servos as possible, just so that we can have blockers out if they try and go wide and they don't have trample. Otherwise, we can at least try and go wide ourselves and swing out to deal more damage to our second main phase do something. We have Ugin. Is basically just +2, deal 3 damage to creature or player. Exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less. That's 1 or more colors. And then -10. You gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and you put up to 7 permanents from your hand onto the battlefield. Right now, with this, what this is to do is we're going to try and basically burn our opponents for 3 is what we want to do, but most likely he's going to be a board wipe because we're going to try and keep all our artifacts on board. Yeah, but it's not, I don't know, Ugin's one of those he can be taken out. Once I play test this some more, we have Archmage Emeritus, which is whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, draw a card. We have Blade Coil Serpent, I cannot speak today. When it enters battlefield, for each 2 mana, spend to cast it, draw a card. For each double black, each opponent discards a card. And for each double red, it gains trample and haste till end of turn. This one I really like as a mana sink, especially if we can cascade off of it, depending on what damage we have done. We can try and just basically try and control what's going to happen. But either way, it's card draw, or it's hand control, or it's just a big beater. And then, yeah. We have Decadent Dragon next with the Expensive Taste. 2 and a black. Exile the top 2 cards of target opponent's library face down. You may look at it and play those cards for as long as they remain exiled. Flying Trample. Whenever Decadent Dragon attacks, create a treasure token. This is just a little more of an aggro thing, slash kind of deck control, because our opponent wants to like use Vampiric Tutor. Alright, cool, we're going to do Expensive Taste, and we're going to exile whatever they tutored for. Also, if they try to do Mystical Tutor, any of the, like, the Worldly Tutor, stuff like that, I want to try and do this to kind of slow them down, because this deck is meant to kind of be at a tier 9. Not at, out of the level of 1 through 10, this deck is supposed to be at about a grade 9. Maybe high tier 8 because I'm just really bad at Magic. But, yeah. Then we have a Disciple of the Vault. Whenever an artifact card is put in a graveyard from the battlefield, you may have target opponent lose 1 life. That is essentially if they try and destroy our artifacts. But it could easily be, this could easily be taken out for another 1-drop. It's not too bad. We have a Displacer Kitten. Oh no, I forget, this is why this is here. So a lot of competitive decks use treasures, and this is to stop them from going infinite, because they will now basically be losing their life unless they're trying to gain infinite life. But if they're trying to go infinite on my turn, I'm hoping that with Disciple of the Vault on board, it'll slow them down some, or at least with Abaddon, I can just feed. Then we have Displacer Kitten. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent you control, and return to the battlefield under its owner's control. This is to essentially flicker some of my other things. Like if we wanted to, we could flicker Dualcaster Mage. Or like we could flicker Emery to try and feed our graveyard. We could, you know, there's like we can flicker Exalted Flamer. There's we could do Jenga Taxis. There's so many things that we could do to try and like there's like if we want to reset one of our planeswalkers after we ultimate them, we could do that. Like there's so many. Displacer Kitten is just a busted 4-drop card. Alright, then we'll go to Dockside. It's just Dockside. Dualcaster Mage, as I said, just copy your instant sorceries. Emeries, feed the grave, try and get our mana rocks out. Erebor, Flamesmith is anytime we cast instant sorcery, deal 1 damage to each opponent. The Exalted Flamer is to basically, you know, as we're casting our instant sorceries, deal damage to our opponents, same as Gutter Snipe. Jenga Taxis is to copy our stuff, especially our mana rocks, because we kind of want to try and, as Cascade, get some other stuff, but this also is to slow our opponents down, but I kind of want to take him out of the deck. I think he's just way too expensive. But if not, he's still a 7-drop that cascades for a 6-drop or less. We have Magnus the Red. Let's make our instant sorceries cost 1 less for each creature token I control. And whenever Magnus deals combat damage to a player, we get a 3/3. So that was Saheeli. He is just busted. Mirror and Spy is when you cast an artifact spell, you may untap target creature. We have a Psychosis Crawler. You hold the number of cards in your hand. When you draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. That is just by drawing. Our opponent is having to lose life, which feeds our Cascade. Scalding Viper is pseudo removal, plus it also stops our opponent from trying to get all their low cost spells because they're just going to take 1 damage. We have a Sedgemoor Witch. This is to make our pests as we copy our instant sorcery, so at least we have some life gain that we can try and use. We have a Stormkiln Artist is to make our treasures. We have Urabrask. Basically, it's going to be the same as the Dockside and all those guys to deal damage. And we can kind of storm off by getting that mana. I should have put my Bergie in here, but I can't find her, so I'm a little sad. But also, we could try and flip him to target opponent and each creature they control, so we can kind of try and board wipe 1 opponent. Second one is gain 3 treasures, and yeah, and then it gives all my stuff flashback in my grave. So that's pretty neat. S9 Antics is with Flash at 6 mana, but at 4 mana for each creature in opponent's control, put a curse on them. This is to stop my opponent's combos, their creature combos at least. I think it's just a pretty good, not removal, but pretty good card. We have Beacon of Unrest, but target artifact or creature card from your graveyard and battlefield, and you shuffle Beacon back. I'm hoping that with this, it's like a cascade thing, so I can just cast it, get a 4 less drop, put it back in my hand. Chain of Smog is to go infinite with Professor Onyx. We can do Emeritus. We could do Sedgemoor Witch. We could do those. Just to get those infinite copies off. Just like there's so many things we could do with it. We have a Demonic Tutor. It's just a tutor, so we can get our combo pieces. We have Devil's Play. If I just want to burn an opponent, I can kind of control what I'll cascade for. We have Empty the Warrens. If I can kind of storm off with Cascade, I kind of want to do this just to make a board. And we have Grape Shot, which is basically it's just what it is. It's a normal Grape Shot, guys. We're going to hit our opponents for everything we can. We have a Grim Tutor. We have a Mind's Desire that this, funny enough, with Cascade is just great. And with Storm, I just like it. I think it's pretty funny. We have a Profane Tutor. And remember, cascading into this, we will get it. If we cast a 1-drop, we can get this, just a tutor for another piece. Red Sun Zenith is if we can hit our opponents again, like Devil's Play. Or what we could do, I think Devil's Play also has flashback. Nice. Red Sun Zenith essentially is to also exile our opponent's creatures that we don't want. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, I kind of want to do this and copy it, because exiling your opponents with top cards library with total mana value, especially in competitive decks, this gets really, really good because a lot of them they run low cost things, so this is really good for that. We have Tendrils of Agony. I really love this card, especially with this artwork. And it's just a card I really want to use and storm off with and gain life. We have a Time Warp. It's just to get 1 extra turn. Nothing really big about it. We have Ad Nauseam to kind of dig for the cards that we want to cast and storm off with. We have Dark Ritual. It's just mana. We have Dismember, which is removal. Dramatic Reversal, which we have with Isochron Scepter up top. We have Force of Negation, it's just an normal counter spell with Mana Drain. We have Reverberate. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. We have Saw in Half. This is like if we have if we want to do an Exalted of Zeech, and essentially we'll have 1/2s that both will get us 2 instant sorceries from our graveyard or hand. And then then we have a Twin Cast. It's just to copy spells. And we have a Vampiric Tutor, which I think is pretty good. Then we have a Flux Reservoir. This is to kind of storm off, as you say. Arcane Signet as Mana Dork. Bolus of Citadel, as you see. Chromatic Lantern is to kind of filter our lands, and it's a mana rock. Commander Sphere is pretty good. Isochron Scepter is, like I said, with Dramatic Reversal. Lotus Bloom, it's just a mana rock. Lotus Petal. Mana Vault. So this one too, with Lotus Bloom and Lotus Petal, what you can do with, I think it's just Lotus Petal. I don't think it works with Lotus Bloom. I'll have to look. But with, or she had Emery and Mirror and Spy, it goes infinite, so you can make infinite mana, and you storm off with Aetherflux. We have Mana Vault, which is a good mana rock. Mox Amber, because we have the Planeswalkers and our commander. We have Sensei's Divining Top to go with Aetherflux and Ballista Citadel. We have Soul Ring and Vexing Puzzle Box to kind of go in and get our artifact combo pieces. When we make infinite, if we like Sedgemoor and the Chain of Smog pops out, we're going to go infinite with it. We can then just sack them to hit our opponents for infinite damage. It's a pretty cheap, easy combo. Mystic Remora is whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, basically it's just draw. Omniscience, cast spells from your hand without paying their mana costs, kind of help us storm off, especially with our commander, and Cascade. Widespread Panic. So this is if my opponents want to tutor, they'll have to put something from their hand onto their deck, on top of their deck. And this is funny too, because what I can do with this is I can control what I cascade for. Because I can put something in my hand onto my library, and I can then try and cascade with it with something more expensive. So this kind of helps me get 2 free spells. So this is a card I think for this deck is really underrated, but I really, really like it, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. For lands, we have a Command Tower, we have Darkwater Catacombs, Exotic Orchard, a Haunted Ridge. We have 6 islands, Mount Doom, which is, it's going to hit us, but I also like that we can pay 3, deal 1 damage to each opponent. We have a Mountain, Otawara is kind of pseudo removal, and it's just a really good land for blue. Reflecting Pool, Restless Spire. This card I like because if our opponents don't have creatures, I can try and just hit them for 2 really quick. And Descry. Riverglade Pathway. This is a really good filter land. Shadow Blood Ridge. We have Shivan Gorge, which is like Mount Doom. It's going to deal 1 damage each for our opponents, but if not, we at least get colorless. Storm-Carved Coast. It's just a really good land. Sunken Hollow, which I think is a good land. We have 6 swamps and a training center, which is a really good Izzet land. And that's pretty much it for the deck. The combos are pretty self-explanatory, but mostly this is just to try and burn my opponents, because even if they take my combos away, I can try and cascade down with my creatures to burn my opponents. And if not, just get more of like my other combo pieces. So the deck is trying to feed itself, and let's go ahead and play test it, guys. So right off the bat with this, what I'm going to do is, 2 or more other lands. So I'll do a, oh no, let's draw. So we draw for the game. We're going to do a swamp, and then we'll go to our next turn, because we're just going to pass. We'll do the Storm Coast into Demonic Tutor. And with what we have on the board, I'm just going to tutor for... We're just gonna get our Soaring to my hand. Close and shuffle. That goes to the grave. Next turn, we are going to do a Darkwater Catacombs. And what we can do is tap the swamp for a Soul Ring and tap the others, and we'll get a Widespread Panic. So on turn 3, we're basically going to slow our opponents down with their tutors. And on the next turn, so usually in competitive, I'm trying to, because you can't see it in this playtest, but even if I got something out of it, Dockside would be pretty great. But what I'll do for this one is I'll just Vexing Puzzle Box and try and dismember whatever they have on their board next turn, because what is it? Soul Ring, and I'll tap a Swamp, and then I still have 3 mana. So that's still pretty good, because then next turn what I'm going to do is essentially just cast my commander. Hopefully I roll pretty high, and hopefully Widespread Panic is slowing my opponents down, because next turn, let's say we could do that. We could pay mana to burn one of our opponents for 3. Yeah. Or no, we'll burn one of our opponents for 2. We're spending 3 mana to do that. And what we'll do is Dockside for 2, View Library, and we're going to get a 1-drop. Bomb Library, Bomb Library, Bomb Library, Bomb Library. Yeah. There goes Gutter Snipe. And yeah, and this, like I said, cascading off of this one is, oh, there we go. We get a Vampiric Tutor. And so, oh, that does go into the deck. So it goes into the library. We shuffle. And we're going to Vampiric Tutor. And what I'll try and get off this one, I guess, because what pieces do I have that I can work with? I guess what I could do is get a Psychosis Crawler, shuffle, and what is this? Search the library for a card, put that card on top, and shuffle. So we'll do that, and then on my next turn, I'm grabbing this, and then we can still cast that for the 5. We'll try and hit our opponents, I guess. But I don't think we're going to cascade off of it, because I'm probably going to have blockers. But I will do cascade. I will do the Psychosis Crawler. And usually how this goes is now I've hit my opponents for hopefully 3. And I could dismember and try and go get a... Well, I could do both. So what I'll do on this turn, this turn 7, this will be the last turn that I simulate. We'll dismember something. So view the library. I need to get, so Saheeli goes to the bottom. We will get Sensei's Divining Top, and we will cast it. And then close. This goes away. And then we, oh no, I should have, here, we'll do it this way. That, and then we'll do Dismember, which will get Mana Drain, which we will then put to the bottom. Then we will close. And it's still only 7 mana, which kind of does suck, but we do have a Sensei's, so what I could do is I get the top 3, put them back in any order. So is that 5? Yeah, we have the mana. So what I'll do is 1, that, and that. What I'll do, this one gets kind of hard, but I'll put, how do I move to the top of the library? Oh, here. There you go. And on my next turn, I'm going to basically do that and cast Omnixilis and essentially hit my opponents for then 6. And then on turn 8, I'll hit my opponents for 6 again, which then I could cascade Mind's Desire or Time Warp, take another turn. So yeah. So like I said, and usually like this is when you're on tier 8 or 9. This is when the games want to end, is on like turn 8 or so. So yeah. Here, we'll even restart. Alright, so we'll draw a card per turn. That is a bad hand. Let's restart that. That was a mulligan. What do I have here? Bro, I'm mulliganing again. There we go. What am I running into here? Alright. We'll do a swamp into, or not into a Lotus Petal, but then we'll do Lotus Petal. I forgot to draw. Alright, then we'll go to turn 2. Dang. So I guess we'll do that. Do that tapped land. Next turn, we'll do a swamp. We're going to crack Lowe's Petal and tap Mana Vault for Stormkill. And then what we could do is Arcane Signet. Next turn, we're going to keep that tapped, lose a life. We're going to do Command Tower. Then we will Ad Nauseam. View the top of our library. Land. Land. We're losing 2. Land. Losing 0. Force a negation. 3, 5, 8. So we've lost 10 life. We'll lose 13, and then we'll Red Sun Zenith. And Angrath, and then Chromatic Lantern. And we'll close and shuffle, I think. No, I weren't supposed to shuffle, but that's fine. I didn't know it was on top anyway. So what was that? 5 mana for Ad Nauseam. Which I don't know where it went. That's weird. And then turn 5, what we'll do is do an island. You stay tapped. We're going to lose our life. What we'll do with Arcane Signet and a swamp, we'll do here. And we have 4 mana left. And I guess what I'll do is bounce something, making a treasure, dealing 1 damage to my opponents, and we'll do that here and here. So this will be adventured. And how much mana do I have? I have 3 mana. What could I do? What could I do? Guess we could hold mana up for our opponent with the Force of Negation if we want to take our piece back and counter it. So we'll go to our next turn. I'll keep Mana Vault tapped. And this is when things start getting really weird because we're going to do a Mount Doom. I want my commander on board, but at this point, what I might want to do it's at 7 mana. Sure, I'll cast. Yeah, we'll cast Chromatic Lantern with 1, 2, 3. Chromatic Lantern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Abaddon. Losing another life. So we've hit ourselves for like 20 damage in this game already. But by turn 6, we have that. And then we'll go to turn 7. Mana Vault will still be tapped. But what we could do essentially. Oh no. Because what we could do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could do Angrath. And what we have 1, 2, 3 mana. What we could probably do is exile something for 3. View library. And essentially we get a 2-drop. Which is Reverberate. So we get Reverberate. And with Reverberate, we're going to copy Red Sun Zenith. Then we make 2 treasures. But I already used that treasure earlier, I think. No, I don't think I did. So what we'll do is, now we have 3 treasures. Reverberate goes to the graveyard. This goes to the deck. We shuffle. And yeah, our next turn, we basically go off because we could do automatically Antics for 4. Go get a 3-drop. Yeah, so turn 8 is still pretty big. If not, what we could do... Yeah, this deck just gets insane. So, like, we'll run through turn 8. We'll draw. So what we're going to do is plus, hit our opponents for 6 if he lived. Probably didn't, but we'll say he did. Oh, there's that nauseam. That goes to the grave. Even hitting our opponents for 6 is still dumb because here, we'll say that's tapped. And then what we could do is Antics to go get a 3-drop, which is Twin Cast. So we make 2 treasures. These go to the grave. We've hit our opponents for a lot. And say, well, that was 4 mana. So we'll do is 1, 2, 3, 4. We've hit ourselves. That's fine. We have 5. So 6. That's 7, 8. And we got 2 treasures. What we could do is 1, 2, 3. We'll just move them to exile because they cease to exist. And we'll cast Ugin. And then we'll view our library. And on top of the library is Magus, which we will grab. Then we'll grab Ugin, hit our opponents for 3. So turn 8, we've been hitting our opponents. We were controlling their hands, and now we have ways to like control the board, kinda. So yeah, and was it? We've kind of had a big hand the entire time. I totally forgot about that, but yeah, this looks like a really fun deck to play. I can't wait to try it. Man, what a hand is this? I guess we'll go to turn 1. Oh, yeah, we're mulliganing that. There you go. There's something we can mulligan to. Exotic Orchard, Lotus Bloom. But yeah, guys, this is a deck I can't wait to play, and I hope y'all enjoy it if y'all decide to build it. This deck is a little on the heftier side, because if we go down to here, like we want to buy deck from Card Kingdom, $852. From TCG Player, it's $662. So there you go. But this is with like all the lands and stuff. But yeah. So TCG Player, probably because if you could do, I think it's to get you the codes and stuff. But yeah, Cool Stuff Inc. I don't know why, Card Trader. But yeah, TCG Player would be pretty good. But I always like to buy stuff from Card Kingdom because TCG Player, it gets mailed separately. Even though Card Kingdom is a little more expensive, I just trust it more. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope y'all like to watch the world burn. Burning Chaos. See y'all again next time. Bye-bye. And please, guys, comment down below what y'all think might need to go in the deck, what needs to come out, how you would improve it to make it a little high tier. And bye-bye.